They're going to present a lot of problems. You know, they started out the VMI game, first play of the game, and brought pressure, trying to force the issue a little bit, and that was a very consistent theme throughout that game. So we're expecting a lot of heat. We're expecting a loaded line of scrimmage. They're going to do everything they can do to stop the run. Very sound in what they do, and it's going to be a tremendous challenge.
From your perspective, in terms of the quarterbacks, receivers being in sync, how much progress have you seen since the Indiana State game?
You know, I don't have any game film to back this up, but we feel like we've made a lot of progress in the last week during the bye week, and obviously we need to go do it on the game field now. But we feel like we try to go back and say, you know, what are our base concepts that we need to get really good at, and let's just go run those during the bye week. And the kids did an outstanding job of busting their tails, of working hard, learning from the tape. So hopefully we can go out there on the game field and show what we've learned and how we've grown, and have a little better execution in the pass game.
Bowling Green's defense is giving up about 500 yards a game. Is that a function of them maybe not playing their best defense, or is it just the offense going so fast?
You know, I don't know. I think it's a double-edged sword. You know, for us, we get that critique a lot, that sometimes we go too fast and we put our defense in a bad bind, but I don't know if I buy that. So, you know, I don't know the reason for that. I just know that they've played two great teams, two very good offenses. So, you know, for us, we need to go out and execute our offense with what we're trying to do and find a way to win this game.
Coach Wilson talked a little bit about, you guys had a Memorial Stadium rushing record in your opener to the, you know, it was partially dictated by what the defense was giving and all of that. Yeah. But he said even with all the yards gained, he felt like there could have been more there in the rushing game. There were things to clean up in the blocking schemes and whatnot. Is this experienced offensive line good at making the adjustments that need to be made?
I think that being our fourth year in this offense now, and our fourth year being together, that we as an entire staff, and really as an offensive line unit, quarterback, running back, that we're all a little bit better at understanding what the adjustments need to be. And I don't know that we made tremendous adjustments against Indiana State, but I do feel like when we get in the course of a game, we feel like if they're going to take away A, well, then let's go to B. And I think we all know what B is. We feel that way schematically. And so hopefully we can continue to build on the experienced O-line that we have. We have an experienced quarterback, running backs. So hopefully we can continue to make the necessary adjustments that we can continue to run the ball.
Nate Sudfeld last year, I don't think he was particularly good in any of your four road games. Part of that was weather, part of it was the caliber of competition you were playing. I guess, what are you hoping to see advancement from him in, you know, just kind of managing himself and the team on the offense on the road?
Yeah, right. Well, I think that comes with the maturity level. And now this kid is 3 years into it. And you'd like to think that when he goes on the road and he steps into a different stadium that he won't get shook up by just not being in your own house. And I think that he's ready for that. I think that he's has had enough game experience now that we need him to play at a high level, and he knows that. And not trying to put too much pressure on him, but, man, this isn't his first time out there in the arena, you know, and the first test will be Bowling Green, the second test will be Missouri the next week, and so on and so on. So, yeah, we need him to play at a higher level in every single game, but especially on the road.
How much do you guys kind of go into a game with a specific game plan, and how much do you kind of see what the defense is giving you and then kind of decide from that?
I think that's what it is. I think that you go in with a couple base concepts, some areas where you think you want to attack. But, you know, right now Bowling Green is game planning how to stop us, and they're going to come up with some new tweaks that we haven't seen yet. So for us just to go in blindly and think that we can just run these plays, I think is a mistake. There's a lot of adjusting that goes on throughout the course of a game.
What do you see as far as leadership from D'Angelo Roberts? Is he maybe stepping up and taking some ownership of that group as a senior? Yeah,
a little bit. You know, part of this for D'Angelo, that's never been his MO to be the loud, boisterous person. His job is to go out and work hard and get the tough yards and make the tough block and the physical play. That's how I think he leads our offense, is more by his play on the field and what he exemplifies every time he steps on the field, more so than standing in front leading the jumping jacks.
I was talking to Dan Feeney, and said it was his first play in a very long time, the first snap on Saturday. He said, my footwork was awful. I missed the block. What did you see from him, though? Did he settle back in well, and what's it like having him?
Yeah, he settled in just fine. And I still think that he's still knocking off the rust, if you will. And, you know, anytime somebody comes back from a serious injury, to think that they can just step back onto the field or onto the court and be 100% the same selves that they were before, that's a mistake. That's just not reality. And I don't care how fast you come back. So Dan's, he's a tough kid. He's been battling. He's going to continue to battle. And really for him, you know, Coach Wilson talks about continuous growth every day. He's a kid that needs to continue to get better every day to get himself back to where he was before his injury.
You talk about the tight end position, and I mean, maybe with Corsaro coming back, I don't know if they'll be back for sure, but I mean, are you hoping to maybe get those guys more involved?
Yeah, you know, and that's a great question. It's been a great topic, and I think with Corsaro coming back, that'll add a lot of depth to that position and some experience. But really that word, just experience, is what those guys need. Coop hasn't played a lot of football for us. Jordan Fuchs is a true freshman. So for them, they're only going to continue to get better as the year goes on, and we can increase their role as they warrant it, if that makes sense. But right now they're doing everything we asked them to do in the offense. And so hopefully, again, as we move forward, they can continue to progress.
Cooper King down the line made a heck of a block on the 70-yarder that Tevin had. Is he, you know, with Friend being out especially, has he been able to step in and give you some of the blocking?
He has. He's done a phenomenal job. And I think, you know, Coop's been with us for a while now, for a year now. And his personality himself is a very mature young man who knows what we're trying to do, understands the offense. And now he's in a position where he's the main guy. And really, his knowledge is helping him play fast. He's not out there thinking about what do I have, because he already knows it. So, yeah, he made a big-time block on that run. And, again, we need him to, and we expect him to make those plays.